Hey, what's up, Lightbolt Joe here. Today we're going to discuss the 2014 war drama film, American Snipers. This is directed by Clint Eastwood, produced and starring Bradley Cooper, Sienna Miller, Kyle Gallner's in this. This is why we're watching this, because we're watching some Kyle Gallner films in our current marathon. So this is based on the life and story of Chris Kyle. I knew it was two first words. Chris Kyle. Well, last name is Kyle. So Chris Kyle was a Navy SEAL. Navy SEAL? He was a SEAL. And he started out in the military 99, I believe, through 9/11. And then retired in like 2009, something like that. I had to look it up. I didn't actually know. This is a 2-hour, 40-something minute long film. It goes very quick. And there's time jumps, but they don't actually say how many years later. You just know that there's time jumps. He was killed in 2013 by a Marine. He was by a vet he was trying to help at a shooting range. Guns, go figure. So, American Sniper is an incredible film that was made and presented to us. The story had its progression. Clint did an amazing job with the directing. Everybody did an amazing job with the material they were given, and it elicited the emotions it's supposed to elicit. I'm disgusted and still horrified by the butcher scene in Iraq of the guy with the drill, you know, killing a child. That was a very vivid, and I will never get that out of my head. It was very well done, horrifying, very well done. This is a horror film in the sense of humans are horrible. So, for what it's worth, the film itself was excellent because it elicited those disgusted moments. It elicited that anger, that frustration, that sadness in certain aspects. So it did what it's supposed to do. The plot itself, I hate war. I hate it. I never understood the concept why one group of people has to hate another group of people, because the one rich person in charge tells the group to hate this person, as the other rich person in charge tells this group to hate those people. That's what war is. War is about money and war is about religion. It's just since human history, that's how it's been. Any story has always been about who holds the most power, who holds the most money, who holds the better religion, quote unquote. That's what war is. And it's frightening and it's frustrating, and it's also frustrating at a whole to think your country is better than someone else. No, we're all on this planet together. We need to act like it. I hate war. I can't stand it. I can't stand reality in itself. So it takes a lot for me to watch something that's actually based on reality. I hate war films because of that, because it's based in reality, that it's something that actually happened. So we just talked about Kyle in a World War II film, right? That it's granted that was very sci-fi at the end, but still, I'm not a big fan of war films. I only like very few war films. Ghosts of War was an actual good example of that. That was a really good war film. I don't know, man. I can't get past the humans are terrible part. It's just, it is what it is. I guess that's the nihilistic duality mindset I have, where humanity is great, we can do anything, and then humanity is just trash. I have both that parts. It's just the duality that of my mind of think works. It's just how it's how it is. So for a movie to get so much praise from me about war, which is based on actual real-life events from a man who did a lot of work in regards to, you know, hunting down a lot of people overseas, it says something. It says something that I'm boasting and praising this film because of how well it's done and how well it was put together. Kyle as a Marine, awesome. Bradley as Chris Kyle, awesome. Like, the comparing of Chris's pictures at the end with Bradley Cooper, it's just astounding how much they resemble each other, and the mannerisms, the ways, and to have the real life memorial footage at the end of shutting down a highway in Texas, you know, the whole cavalcade, is that the proper term? I believe that's the proper term, cavalcade, when the police officers, people of the law, shut a highway down and have it's not a parade, I think it's a cavalcade. That was hard to watch. That was hard to watch real footage. real footage gives it more sense of reality. Then you know, you're like, oh, this is a thing. This happened. It's a terrible tragedy that this happened. And for someone who was trying to help someone, he would spend time with this Marine or this vet trying to help them, you know, recover with their PTSD, stuff like that. He would spend time with this Marine, this vet, helping them, you know, and this particular vet killed Chris and his friends who were trying to help him. It's horrible. It's a terrible, terrible tragedy that should have never happened. So the throwing in the memorial shots at the end just really, really hit home and really circumventilated. And going back to one of the first tours that he was in, with the kid screaming bloody murder as the drills are going through him, having that same sounds translate into other scenes, it gives it a sense of horror and what someone has to deal with when they're in that war front. And then how do they transition back to civilian life when that war front is not with them anymore? Are they still on edge? What happens when they're still on edge? What's that transition? I can't imagine. I can't imagine, nor do I ever want to imagine what that feels like. I don't want to ever know what that feels like. I give credit where credit is due. I do not believe in what they're doing in regards to rich white person in power tells the group of people to do these things because we don't like this other group. I'm not for it. I'm not for that for all of human history. I haven't been, I will never be. But you're subjecting yourself to that. You are wanting to be in that. And that takes a lot of courage. That takes a lot of, not charisma, that takes a lot of gumption. That's the word. I can't imagine that. I can't imagine how that feels. I can't imagine the mindset to put yourself in that situation. I can't imagine it. So kudos, I guess. Overall, movie was great. Won some awards. On to the next review. Mucho mahalo.